Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a concept that honestly challenges almost everything we've been taught about money. It's called the debt payoff trap. We're going to look at why practically all of us are conditioned to attack debt the absolute second we have a spare dollar. And we'll uncover the hidden difference between just playing it safe and actually building true financial strength. Let's acknowledge reality right out of the gate here. The idea of being debt-free, it offers this incredible, immediate emotional reward. Aggressively paying off debt feels fantastic, doesn't it? Because it seemingly removes a massive weight from our shoulders. We all grew up hearing that debt is inherently bad, so naturally, erasing it feels like you're solving a major life problem. Every payment you make sends this massive rush of dopamine straight to your brain, whispering that you are making pure, undeniable progress.
And here is where it gets really interesting. This introduces a totally counterintuitive mystery. How in the world can paying off debt, something literally universally praised as responsible, how can that actually keep you stuck? I know it sounds crazy, right? But we're going to explore why rushing headfirst toward a zero balance might actually be a hidden financial trap, a trap that completely stalls you from building real wealth over the course of your life.
Think about it. We usually face two paths when we finally scrape together a little extra money each month. Option A is the highly emotional, deeply ingrained path, throwing every single spare cent at your debt until it's totally gone. But then there's Option B, and Option B is fascinating. It's a slower, definitely less immediately satisfying, but mathematically balanced approach. This is where you pay your debt steadily while simultaneously investing consistently. Instinctively, our brains scream for Option A, right? We crave that immediate emotional relief. But what exactly is happening in the background while you chase that relief?
Well, that brings us to a massive, often totally ignored concept: opportunity cost. When you throw all your cash at debt, you absolutely have to ask yourself a vital question. What is this money no longer able to do for me? Because, well, while your money is working overtime as a janitor, desperately cleaning up your past, it is completely failing to act as a CEO building your future. Money isn't just about erasing what you owe, it's about building what you own. And when you actually look at the math from our source material, it's pretty surprising. Let's say you have a loan charging you 7% interest, but you also have an investment opportunity that historically averages 10 to 12% over the long term. If you rush to aggressively pay off the loan, sure, you save that 7%. And yeah, it feels like a win. But if you invest strategically over time, your money is actually growing faster than the debt is costing you. That percentage spread, it matters enormously when you stretch it out over a few decades. The place where this invisible cost really hurts is time. Just imagine that in year one, you are absolutely obsessive about debt payoff. Fast forward to year 5, and hey, congratulations, you've done it. You are perfectly debt-free. But your assets are sitting at absolute zero. By year 10, you've lost an entire decade of time in the market. And the harsh reality of wealth building is that compounding needs time so much more than it needs intensity. Those early years of investing are the most powerful exponential years, and you simply cannot get them back once they're spent entirely on fighting off debt.
But losing time isn't even the only risk here. Think about this vulnerability loop. So many people will drain their savings, just entirely deplete their cash reserves, just to chase that perfect zero balance. But life is incredibly unpredictable. Just as you celebrate being debt-free, your car transmission explodes, or a surprise medical bill drops out of the sky at the absolute worst possible moment. Because you have zero cash buffer left, what happens? You're forced to use a credit card and go right back into debt just to survive. You're left completely exposed to life's surprises. And this cycle creates a state of deep financial fragility. By aggressively attacking debt at the expense of literally everything else, you successfully solve the emotional problem of debt, for sure, but you completely fail to solve the structural problem of wealth creation. So the crucial takeaway here is that feeling financially safe, like having no debt, is dangerously different from actually being financially strong. Let's look at a really great metaphor for this. Think of your money as seeds. If you use all your seeds exclusively to fill holes in the ground, which represent your debt, you just end up with flat ground. Nothing ever actually grows. But if you use some of those seeds to plant trees, which are your investments, eventually those trees are going to grow so massive that they become far larger than the holes themselves. That is exactly how true structural wealth is built. Now, this creates some serious cognitive dissonance based on what we're traditionally taught. On one side, we have someone with absolutely no debt, but they also have no investments and no savings. They might feel completely safe, but structurally, they are highly vulnerable. On the flip side, we have someone carrying manageable debt, but they also have strong assets and growing investments. They are in a significantly stronger financial position because they have cash flow, flexibility, and actual wealth working for them around the clock.
Now, I want to be absolutely clear here. This counterintuitive strategy does not give you a free pass on toxic debt. High-interest credit cards, payday loans, inflated lifestyle debt, these are financial fires that are actively destroying your future, and they should absolutely be extinguished with extreme urgency. We are talking about utilizing balance when it comes to moderate, manageable debt. We're definitely not saying to turn a blind eye to a raging inferno in your bank account. So, how do we actually put this into practice? Well, our source material provides this really actionable blueprint to shift from panic to power. First, separate that dangerous debt from the manageable debt. Second, ditch the all-or-nothing mindset. You can definitely pay down debt while investing at the exact same time. Third, start investing early to let compounding work its magic. Fourth, violently protect your emergency fund so you don't fall back into that vulnerability loop. Fifth, zoom out and think long-term. Ask yourself, what makes me strongest 10 years from now? And finally, focus on ownership over mere repayment.
Ultimately, the core takeaway of this entire philosophy comes down to this one simple, incredibly powerful idea. The goal is not just to own nothing. The goal is to own something. True financial freedom isn't simply the absence of financial pain or just removing pressure. True freedom is the actual presence of assets. It's moving beyond just clearing the slate to actually building a foundation that continuously produces value for you.
So the next time you sit down to look at your money, instead of constantly asking yourself, how fast can I eliminate all my debt? Try asking a better question. How can I build a financial system that grows stronger over time? When you shift your mindset from merely escaping the holes to actively planting the trees, you stop working solely for money, and you finally build an unstoppable engine where your money works for you.